So did I pick the right person for a keynote or what? Jill was all hesitant. Well, I'm not a filmmaker. I'm not really a media person. I was like, no. I want you. So I have to retrace my steps a bit because the thank yous that I didn't do at the beginning, I got to do now. Because this conference thing, takes a lot of work, and I could not have done it by myself. And there's so many people that are in the room and aren't in the room, but I have to start by thanking a few of them. Let's start off with my girls. My girls are Jamila Daniel, Kiri Davis, Imani Dawson, Tamika Durham, Veronica Fernandez, Elise Oxendine, Indalea Samana, and Miss Pam Tillis, who is never in the room when I go to thank her. And she is amazing. She's our director of public programs, and every program that goes on in our division in general studies, Pam is at the root of. Ask me how she does it. I don't know. We have about 50 programs a month. 50 a month. And Pam is the one who handles them all with grace, with calmness. She's not like me. She doesn't get excited like I do. If you had been sitting in my office with my good friend Terry, who was sitting with me today going, no, that's not what I wanted, you would understand. Pam doesn't do that. I also have to thank my director, Ms. B. Banyu, who's hiding, Dr. B. Banyu, hiding behind the pole over there, and the rest of the bachelor's program staff, because they have given me so much leeway over the last 2 weeks, you would not believe. I mean, they've known that I've been at my wit's end trying to pull this together, and they've been fantastic, and B has always been a great supporter of me and my work. So thank you, B. I also have to thank Barry and the dean, of course. Media Studies is my department that I teach in, and we do a lot of programs, too, if you don't know. How many Media Studies alum or current students we have sitting here? Up. See there? You guys? All right. I'm glad to know that you're here, because this is what is for you, and this is the kind of program that we love to do for you. And please take advantage, like I said earlier, of being in this room and of meeting all the people in this room. Where do I start? Sean Jacobs. Where's Sean? I saw you. Milano GPIA professor, and we sat down about a year ago and had a conversation about how needed this was, and he's been helping me out ever since. Ideas, filmmakers, films. We've been tossing this around quite a bit. Thank you, Sean, for all your help. Our provost, Tim Marshall, was another one of our big supporters. He was here earlier, had to dash out. All those girls that I mentioned, yeah, they've been my left and right arms. Tamika, would you raise your hand? That one right there. This is a media studies student, just got into the graduate program, mother of two. She did our great programs that are in your hand amongst everything. I mean, she's just been amazing. Jamila is not in the room. She's outside. Okay, she's been amazing as well. Kiri Davis, whose mom is here. Mom, raise your hand. There she is. Kiri is one of our bachelor's program students who is, she did a film when she was in high school that you might have heard of called Girls Like Us. People heard about that film? That's Kiri. She's our star. Where is she? Kiri, she's outside somewhere. Okay, and that's Tracy Ann Williams, who just walked in. She's also been my confidant and advisor through this whole process, my dear friend and colleague. Anyway, the list goes on and on, but really, in this room you have filmmakers such as Charles Officer. Charles, raise your hand. Whose film we're showing tomorrow evening, Nurse Fighter Boy, an amazing film. Reggie Allen. Reggie, raise your hand. Whose films we're showing tomorrow you don't want to miss. Just to give you a preview, one of them is called Funk TV, the ABCs of Funk TV, just to give you a little preview. Who else is here who's a filmmaker? Don't let me forget somebody who's in the room, please. Filmmakers, raise your hand. Filmmakers who are in the program, Raise your hand, raise your hand, raise your hand. Okay, so nobody else is here yet. Okay. They'll all be here tomorrow, though, so you don't want to miss out. Shala Lynch, who did Chisholm 72 and Boughton on Boss, a wonderful documentary. We're not showing her film, but she's going to be on one of the panels. Pearl Bowser, I hope she's able to make it. She's my mentor. She's been having a little health issues here and there. Hopefully she'll be here. She's an Oscar Michaud scholar. You definitely always want to hear what she has to say. Sheila Walker, oh my goodness, from Washington, D.C., anthropologist and scholar, Dr. Sheila Walker, came up from D.C. Wow, didn't know you were here. Anyway, the list goes on and on. So don't forget to make contacts. That's the main thing. We were trying to wait for Ava DuVernay to come into the room, but she's stuck in traffic. On her way. So I'm going to go ahead and introduce her film and her, and then she'll talk with us afterwards. When I first heard about Ava's film, I Will Follow, I was very excited. I was not only excited because the film sounded amazing, which it is, I was also excited because of the concept that Ava released this film through. She started a new model called Affirm, African American Film Festival Release Movement. And it is, in fact, a movement. How many people saw the film at the theater? Yes, that's what I want to see. The film was at the AMC here on 34th Street for 3 weeks. The model of distribution is one that I had been thinking about for many years, but Ava actually went ahead and did it. And that is using the Black Film Festival circuit across the country to do the promotion and marketing of her film on a very grassroots level, which means no money, because we usually don't have money to get our films out. But Ava has managed to figure this out, and the film has just picked up yet another market. I think she started off with 5. I think she's up to maybe 20 now. Washington, D.C., it's opening this weekend in Washington, D.C. So she'll talk more about that, but I just want you to think about why I wanted her to be part of this conference is because we can talk about how that model worked, and we can really use it as a tool to think about how we move this industry forward and this concept of distribution away from the usual, thinking outside the box. That's what we need to be doing here. And I just saw somebody else walk in, Miss Frances Ann Solomon, who's my good friend, colleague from Toronto, Barbados. She's the one, David, you can accost her about taking me to the Caribbean so much. It's her fault. We'd like to show 2 clips from Sundance last year. And the reason I'm showing you these clips are these were produced by Ava's PR company. Ava has an amazing public relations company that she started 15 years ago. And they produced these clips at this last year's Sundance because there was a major representation of Black and Latino and people of color projects at Sundance, which you may or may not know. But what I think is the most amazing about these 2 clips we're going to show, Affirm, is the amazing array of people in high positions that we have working in this industry. And you know how they always say, well, we really wanted to hire somebody, but we couldn't find anybody of color. Well, this is about to dispel all those notions because you'll see just a handful, and this is only clips 1 and 2 I'm showing you. There's actually a third one. A handful of the people that are really instrumental in the broader, outside of Hollywood, independent film movement, and I think it's important for us to know who they are. So, students, take out your pens. You want to take notes. It's over.
Enciende mi candela. Look at this.
I'm Tony Judkins. I oversee original production and programming for TV One.
My name is Shari Freeland. I'm senior programmer here at Sundance Film Festival, and I'm the curator of New Frontier.
My name is Moon Molson. I am a writer-director of short films.
Hi, I'm Felicia D. Henderson. I am a writer, director, teacher, producer.
Lisa Osborne. I'm a digital strategist and a producer.
My name is Tamika Lamison. A writer, director, producer, actor, director of a nonprofit organization.
Tambiel Benson. I run a Black cinema blog called shadowandact.com.
Moikansi Kama, exhibitor.
My name is Jacqueline Lianga. I'm the director of AFI Fest in Los Angeles.
Lanri Idewu.
I'm an actor and a producer. I finance and package black films. My name is Jeff Bird. I am a director and also a producer.
Deborah Riley Draper. I'm on the board for the Bronze Lens Film Festival.
The future of black film is bright because we are going to decide to take over our own future and decide it for ourselves.
The future of black film is bold, beautiful, brilliant, and okay, I'm going to get away from the B's, transformational.
The future of black film is digital and decentralized.
The future of black film is independent.
The future of black film is in developing new audiences and supporting independent filmmakers wherever they may be.
The future of black film is projects and like this one that Ava's put together that combine festivals and circuits and distribution and really maximize publicity and promotion for filmmakers.
The future of black film is exhilarating and unlimited.
The future of black film is a grassroots collective effort. The future of black film is doing it ourselves.
The future of black film is now.
The future of black cinema is independence, revolutionary, dynamic, varied, diasporic. The future of black cinema is affirmed.
Enciende mi candela. Look at this.
My name is Valerie Mraz. I'm Vice President of Content Acquisitions at Showtime Networks.
Gordon Bob, attorney.
My name is Tahir Jetter. I'm the writer-director of a film called Close.
My name is Gabrielle Glore. I'm the executive producer of Urban World Film Festival, and I am a creative producer of film.
My name is Barry Jenkins, and I am a writer-director. My name is Bradford Young, and I'm a cinematographer.
My name is Desiree Underwood.
Hey, I'm Blair Underwood. I'm an actor, director, producer.
DeMille Halliburton. I'm the managing director of Sterling & Sterling, so we ensure film and television production.
Hi, my name is Bert Runningwater. I run the Native American program at Sundance Institute.
The future of black film is dependent on us financing our own films to bring our stories to the public.
The future of black film is direct distribution to the consumer.
The future of black film, if black filmmakers get behind their stories and make it happen and know that it's possible, is hopeful and bright.
Distribution models should be designed by filmmakers. They shouldn't be designed by people who are not practitioners of the craft. I mean, we should be telling folks what we think is right for our films, and we're so clear about the way our films should look, we're so clear about the way our films should sound, but we're not clear about who we want to see our films. So I think we don't have a clear model on what we want from this thing because black folks just don't have historical precedents within the institution itself. We have Oscar Michaud, and then we have a black hole, you know.
The future of black film is collaboration as we try to identify and create and build a model that we can sustain that allows black film to flourish in a commercial marketplace.
The future of black film is unlimited.
The future of black film is in the people who consume it.
Just the way that Sundance has branded themselves as a place where if you come through Sundance, you have a certain amount of credibility. I think we can do the same thing with what you're doing with Affirm, because that way, if people know what Affirm is, this is branding. If you brand yourself and the company, and we support you as a community, then people will know you can take a film that's brilliant like this with no so-called recognizable faces, and people will know, wait a minute, it came through Affirm, so we need to check that out.
The future of black film is very, very bright. The future of black film is layered.
The future of black film is going to lead the way for everybody else.
As long as our people come out and support all of our films, then we'll be able to tell more and more stories, and I look forward to the future.
The future of black film. Cheers. It's bright. It's bright. Lovely, lovely.
Enciende mi candela.
So, isn't that impressive? I know, I was impressed. I mean, I know that there are a lot. Are we on? We're on? Okay. I know that there, I knew a few of these people, but I didn't know everybody. And I think it just goes to show you how the field is changing so rapidly every day that you really have to stay on top of things. You have to stay connected. You have to continue to network and build those networks out so that you do know who's who, the who's who. I'm going to go ahead and introduce Ava briefly. She still hasn't gotten here, but she'll be here shortly. And she just walked in the room. Thank you, Ava. Come on up here. Okay, I couldn't have cued that more perfectly, so thank you, Ava. We just watched the clips from Sundance. Yes, we did. I'm so glad you made it.
Thank you. Hey, everyone. Thanks for coming.
So this is Ava DuVernay. Ava made her directorial debut with the critically acclaimed 2008 hip-hop documentary, This Is the Life, winner of Audience Awards in Toronto, Los Angeles, and Seattle. The film was released theatrically and debuted on Showtime in April 2009. She also recently directed 2 network music documentaries, a history of female hip-hop artists entitled My Mic Sounds Nice for BET, and 2-hour concert film chronicling the nation's largest annual African-American gathering, the Essence Music Festival, in 2010 for TV One. She's done amazing other things also, but what I find that the most amazing is that she has managed to maintain a thriving, bustling public relations firm in Hollywood for the past 15 years while she's making films, mind you. While she's making films. Mm-hmm. Some of her clients, she's only done about 120 film and television campaigns, and some of her clients include Steven Spielberg, Clint Eastwood, Michael Mann, Robert Rodriguez, Bill Condon, Kevin Smith, Raoul Peck, and Gorinda Chadha, just to name a few. She also happens to be a UCLA graduate and a member of the Academy of Television Arts and Sciences. I'm so glad Ava could be here. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
So Ava, do you want to just say a couple of words about the film, and then we'll go right into the screening?
Sure.
Okay, since you made it in the room in time.
Exactly. I apologize. I'm from California, so it's overcast. And I saw several things crawling on the street as I walked in, so I'm sorry I'm a little flustered. I said, is that a rat? But I'm happy to be here, and I'm having a full New York experience. Every time I come, it just hits me in the face. Anyway, really happy to be here. We're at the end of our theatrical run for I Will Follow. We opened on March 11th in 5 cities. We did so well the first week that we expanded the second week to 15 cities and continued to kind of blossom into up to 22 cities around the country. And so this is our last screening in New York. We were at AMC 34th Street, and we were distributed by a collective known as Affirm, which is the reason why I think I was invited to come here and chat tomorrow on the various panels about just new ways to think about sharing and telling our stories. Affirm is a distribution collective, so we kind of hear a lot about DIY filmmaking, doing it yourself. Affirm is really DIT filmmaking, doing it together, community-based distribution. And so I'm really interested in that, and I think Affirm proves the model that it is possible. And so we're really hoping that it serves as a springboard for other folks to think about new ways to distribute our films. So anyway, this is I Will Follow that you'll be seeing. It's a little film that I made for about $50,000 cash and a lot of begging and borrowing and crawling on knees and begging for help. And it stars Sally Richardson Whitfield, great lady, and Blair Underwood and Omari Hardwick, the legendary Beverly Todd, a young brother named Dijon Talton from Glee, and a wonderful stage actor who joined us on this film. Her name is Nicole Brianna White. If you don't know her now, you'll definitely know her after the film. So I hope you enjoyed. I think we'll be hanging out, chatting a little bit afterward. So thanks for being here. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Ava. So we will now start with I Will Follow. And the most beautiful film we've seen in a very long time. I know, I think so. I think that's very rare do we see films that deal with human relationships and human trials and tribulations, and that does it in such a emotionally satisfying way and touching, and as well as being uplifting. It's hard to get that whole combination going, but I definitely think that Ava has done that and then some. So glad that she could join us here. Come on down, Ava.
Hi, folks.
So I hope that you are staying not only because you want to talk to us, but there's also some food going on as soon as we finish. So, food and wine, I should say. So I know Ava doesn't like talking about herself that much, but I'm going to ask her a couple questions, and then you guys are going to chime in and ask as you would like to as well. But I do think it's kind of significant to talk about how you sort of got to the place where you are today in your career, with this film, with sort of being at the moment in terms of the industry. I mean, you've been successfully able to combine these two very different kinds of skills and have done it in a way that seems to make sense. And we have a lot of students here that are looking for the right path. Mm-hmm. Could you give us like some helpful hints about how you got along your journey and got to this point?
I don't know. I mean, I'd say 2 years ago I was really depressed. Everyone can hear me, right?
Yes.
I was a little depressed, starting to go on the Altoid out of mouth, Ava. Wanting to be a filmmaker and kind of starting to embark on that journey and feeling really old, and like I had taken the wrong path. Because I had a career as a publicist and I had an agency, and it's kind of like, well, who switches in the middle of what they're doing, one of which is going really well? You can't go make a movie, you know what I mean? And then encountering filmmakers who were doing it a lot younger or who were my age, who had gone to film school, and I just felt like I had missed something. And I said, let me just try my best. And what I found was that in this day and age, in 2011 and 2012, really the skills that I have are what filmmakers need now. Being able to realize that, your film is not finished when you wrap picture, that you need to continue to nurture and provide for the life of your film. And, it's not the days where you can finish the film and hand it off to someone. That's not happening anymore. There's no one to hand it to you. If you find someone to hand it to, they don't know what to do with it. They don't know where to take it. And so you really have to have these skills that, for some reason, I had and was able to, kind of marry with what I was trying to express, cinematically. So turned out pretty good. I don't know. It's good. I reevaluate now from the place I was even 2 years ago, and I feel like, what I had was enough, And I think that everyone has different skill sets that they can bring to it, and it's enough, It's enough. I wish I could have gone to film school. I wish I could have done some of that more formal training, but, if you have a story to tell, then you have enough,
And you heard, those of you who've been in my distribution class, you've heard what she just said. You have to have those skills as well.
Yeah.
And that's sort of, I think, the key to sort of where you are today in terms of the film. The film's done incredibly well. Yeah. I said 18 markets, but you're actually in 22?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's good.
That's amazing. Can
Yeah.
you guys give her a round of applause for that? And you weren't around at the beginning when I first started talking about you, but this concept that you came up with to use the African American Film Festival circuit to really do the whole promotion and marketing outreach for your film is an idea that I thought we should have been doing many moons ago, but you actually made it happen. How did you pull it together? How was that process?
Yeah, I don't think it's a new idea to think about. I feel like there's a whole people that I've got my back turned towards, so I'm just going to be in the middle. I don't think it was a new idea. I just think it was, someone said, God, it's so simple. Why didn't somebody do it before? It's really, really quite simple. It's, you have all these robust black film organizations around the country doing their own thing. Just like, could we get together and talk about doing something as a unit? And could that something be a film release, maybe. There's a lot of talk about whether or not it was even possible, and it's really not me. It was a collaboration of the leaders of all these black film organizations saying, okay, I think maybe, let's try it. And it was just a lot of work. I mean, it was literally 4 months solid of daily torturous calls with it was just a lot to marshal from a national perspective, but then also on the ground, each of these entities just doing amazing things. And knowing their city like no one else knows it. I can't tell you how to market to black people in Seattle. Visited a couple times, think it's nice, don't know where they are to tell you how to get them to come to the movie. But apparently they're there because Seattle opened, it was the third highest of the opening weekend. I was like, who came? Where are they coming from? But they were there and it was packed and there was lines around. And so yeah, it was really just, really trusting and looking to each of the market leaders, each of these black film festivals and black film organizations to say, we know our city and we know how to make this happen. And yeah, it happened. I look back at the opening weekend footage, each city sent in footage, and you see lines and packed houses, and it's just like, wow, we really pulled this off. So,
what does that say to you? What did this experience about how people have responded to the film? What does that bring to you too? What does that say?
It's just people just want options.
Yeah.
Just want options. There are no options in black cinema in the past. If you are not, I think people in this room probably have a different cinematic sensibility than, our brothers and my mom and sisters, for example, who live in Montgomery, Alabama, and they're first in line to see Tyler Perry films. And God bless them. They love them. And I say, go see them. If you like that film, go see that film. It was like when my mom hadn't read a book in 20 years, but Waiting to Exhale came out. And you can't get her to read Blues. You can't get her to read nothing, but she's gonna read some Terry. You know what I mean? And that was her introduction to it. You ask most black people, maybe not in this room, but most black people, which I have on the road extensively, what's your favorite film? I'm telling you, it's an unscientific survey. I'm gonna tell you what the three are. Ready?
Yeah, I'm listening.
Love and Basketball. Love Jones. And now and then, someone's going to throw a humdinger and say Claudine. And now and then, that's when you're like, Claudine. But those are the three. Those are the three. And you know what that says to me? We want to see ourselves as contemporary African-American people, like maybe not period pieces all the time, maybe not, always heightened comedy, or heightened danger, violence. We just want to be. And I think that's underneath the answer to those questions. Love and Basketball is that. Love Jones is that. Claudine is that. Just black folk being black folk, loving, living, losing. And so that's what this process has shown me, is that we will come out for that. This film is a slow film. It just moves along. It just invites you to sit and go along a day with her. And a lot of people are like, probably not gonna work. Black folk we don't like to sit and watch.
We want action.
We want action.
Yeah.
We want laughs and chuckles. You know what I mean? There's certain things we want, and no, not true. We want options.
That's right.
That's all. That's what we want. It's options.
Absolutely.
So that's what I learned. And that's what I think the message was for me, is just providing options. We're debating now, all the leaders of the festivals and myself, what the second film in Affirm will be, because the idea is to release 2 films a year. And so it's like, what is the second film? What do the people want? What do the people need? What do they want they don't even know they want? Will they watch the subtitled film? I'm like, is this a debate we're actually having? Like a whole debate about, can it have subtitles? Will black people go? But it's valid, Yeah. And so, yeah, we're just about options and diverse images.
Well, and I was just going to say, I think this is the same conversation we had 20 years ago when we opened Daughters of the Dust. You weren't here at the beginning when Jill got to talk. Jill did her keynote, and she talked about all the hair in the audience that she would have loved to see yours.
Oh, okay.
Because, that was like the big thing there. It was like, the first time we're seeing black women on the screen with natural hair. It was like unbelievable.
Wow.
And it was intentional.
Right.
It wasn't like by happenstance.
Right.
But I think those options that you're talking about have been sort of plaguing us ever since. We still don't have enough of them. And so for your film to come along, I think that is exactly what it's saying, that we have a diverse array of audiences and interests and scope of perspectives, and we need to have films that nourish that.
And the films are there. I mean, not to say, I mean, this is not, I mean,
Absolutely.
the films are there. The question is, how do you get them to people?
That's right.
You know, Medicine for Melancholy, you know, Good Day to Be Black and Sexy, Night Catches Us, Restless City, Pariah, Muslim. I mean, the filmmakers are there. We're making the films. My question is, beyond wanting to make my own films, after it's made, and that's just the entrepreneur in me, I'm like, okay, I'm going to make it, but then what happens? And it's just not enough to make it anymore. You have to know where it's going. And I don't think knowing where it's going is crossing your fingers that somebody's going to come pick it up for you. Knowing where it's going is having clear intention, and, you know, that, for me, is intrinsic to the making of it as well. I'm making it for an audience, and I'm going to make sure that they see it. And I just think that's the way that we need to be moving now.
Absolutely. That's what this whole conference is about.
Yeah.
And I'm so thrilled.
And so I'm so thrilled you're doing this. It's amazing.
And wait, I got to tell you guys this little tidbit I just found out. Ava came here tonight in lieu of going to her opening premiere in London, just so you know.
Thanks. Where'd you? I didn't go there.
Little birdie told me.
Yeah.
But because she and I had this conversation back in when was that?
January. Yeah.
Because I told her what I was doing with the conference, and she was like, "Oh, I definitely want to be there." That's her commitment to this cause and to this movement. And I think that's amazing.
Well, thank you for putting it together.
Best of luck in London.
Thank you.
I'm sure it'll be wonderful.
It went well. It was sold out. They called me from it. It was sold out. Sold out in London.
That's amazing.
But black films don't play overseas. What are you talking about?
Exactly.
We can't.
Exactly.
That doesn't make sense. How did that happen? That we were sold out in London?
I have no idea.
It's preposterous. Yeah.
Questions from the audience? Yes. Jocelyn. Hold on. Get the mic. We're recording, so.
Hi. Can you talk a little bit about your work as a publicist and how that played into the success of your distribution model?
Yeah. Well, we don't have any money. We're broke. So, you know, when I'm opening a film for Paramount or Sony or what have you, I have a certain budget, and I'm able to, you know, work that budget. It's millions of dollars, and I can allocate funds here or there. With a firm, we don't have that. So the idea was to have, you know, the film festivals will handle and kind of marshal all the resources on the ground in the cities promotionally, organizationally. And my agency, because we do high-level publicity, would handle all of the media outreach, right? So this campaign had CNN, had ET, had Entertainment Tonight, had Access Hollywood, had NPR and Ebert and New York Times and LA Times, to fill the gap of the press, of the advertising we could not buy. So we don't have money to buy ads, which is usually how you learn about a film, the commercials on television, radio, the billboards. So our ground game and our high-level press, you know, we work those really hard so that hopefully they fill the gap for the advertising. Now, the trifecta is if you've got all three. Most feature films don't have all three. They've got the high-level press, they've got the advertising, but there's nobody pushing it on the ground. So our idea was, okay, we know that those films can survive, those studio films can survive with two. Maybe we can survive with two, you know, if we just hit it hard, you know, just from a different way. I wouldn't even say the bottom up. I'll say from a foundational place, and then just kind of. So I mean, that's probably more strategy than you were interested in, but yeah. So yeah, the press really played a big part in it. You know, I'm pretty sure it might be one of the only films that the director, writer, producer was also on the phone pitching the movie. But yeah, you know, we just pitched it.
Well, and I think that shows you too. It's about relationships.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
That all of this is about relationships,
yeah.
Because you've had those relationships
right.
in your professional life.
I could get the call returned. Yeah.
Get the call returned. Absolutely. Yeah. Dallas, in the back. Dallas Penn, whose film Bodega is showing tomorrow.
I was so interested in how you raised the money for the top tier actors that you had in the film. I mean, I know Blair cost some money, and the other actors that you had. The other question, though, after you talked about distribution, you didn't work any social media angles? No Twitter, no Facebook?
Oh, sure.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, sure.
Who said we didn't?
Okay.
Who said we didn't?
Okay.
Yeah, heck yeah, we did. Okay, so actors. We were SAG Indie, and all the actors got paid the same, which was a whopping $100 per day. So, yeah, no, it was really... Blair, I knew personally. He was a friend. We've done a lot of work together. I first met Blair on the set of a show that I loved and two people watched called City of Angels, about the black hospital. And that's when I first met him, and I just continued in my PR work to come across projects that he was on. And so whenever we'd have to do a junket or a premiere or something or a press tour, we became very friendly. And he actually just called me today and said, I just was walking out of William Morris, and a young white assistant stopped me. Oh, shoot, I'm taping this. This is being taped. He didn't say white. He didn't say white. I don't know if I could tell the story. He said a young assistant. Did I say Blair said this story? Blair didn't say it. Anyway, he's been getting a lot of feedback from I Will Follow from unexpected places.
There you go.
I'll say it like that.
There you go.
And so yes, he was a friend. Sally Richardson was someone that I was always interested in because I always thought the sister had chops, but she was always playing someone's wife or, just the side piece. And I just wanted to see her, I think you're blinded by the beauty because it's just like she come on set someday, I'd be like, really? All that. Right now it's 6 a.m. Really? We just be like, it's too much. But she's gorgeous and she's down to earth and she's the coolest sister ever. And for her, it was really about, she says really transparently in a lot of interviews that, she doesn't feel like people see her as a black woman, as she's never been on an Essence cover. She's barely been on the inside of Essence. She Upscale's not calling her, those magazines, The Jets, the black radio, like on this press tour, she was going to outlets and dealing with outlets that just miss her for some reason. And so she had said actually on Ed Gordon's show on BET, she said, I feel like with I Will Follow, like I'm being embraced by black folk for the first time, And so I think that was part of the reason why she, jumped on board to do it really for nothing. So, really the whole cast, it was a passion project. No one got paid. And yeah, we had a really, really, I thought, robust social media campaign that I put a lot of work into, a lot of time, and we had a lot of people who were ride or die on Facebook. Changing profile pics, avatars, bullying people. Why isn't your avatar changed? Like, there's groups on Facebook. There's a group on Facebook called the 4-Time Club. People that have seen the film 4 times.
Wow.
It only came out March 11th.
Wow.
That's a little much. There's a group on Facebook called the 50 Mile Club, if you drove more than 50 miles. I didn't make these clubs.
Wow.
These are just people that are just congregating around the film. And so, yeah, it was very deep Twitter, very deep Facebook, very deep email blasting, and then just a lot of other social media things. Every tool we could get. There's a site called blackatlas.com, and where you can upload your travel videos. So everywhere we went, we were uploading videos, YouTube. If you had a website, we were doing something with you, just to try to get wherever we could. Yeah.
Take one over here and I'll come back on that side. Lamonia?
Hi, I wanted to know, are you aligned with every single black film festival? Because there are so many of them. I just wanted to know if a firm was aligned with all of them. And my second question is for filmmakers, if they want to be what I guess will now be called an affirm distributed film, what's the process for that?
No, not aligned with all of them yet. The hopes are that, and all the black film festivals are not created equal. We're really looking for folks that have, passionate leadership and good infrastructure, and everyone's not there yet, And the ones that are there, everyone may not want to do this. It's hard work. I'm calling you every day, like, what's happening? Did somebody take those postcards? What you know what I mean? And also, the 5 that we started with, they're just so smart.
Which ones are they?
They were Urban World and Image Nation in New York. Langston Hughes in Seattle. Real Black in Philly. Bronze Lens in Atlanta. Smart people. Telling me what their ideas were. We had marketing plans for every city. We debated tactics. Say it again?
Shadow and Act?
What about Shadow and Act?
Were they involved at all?
No, Shadow and Act's an amazing website, and they covered us as just a press or a press.
But Pan-African.
They're not Pan-African in LA partially.
Okay.
But no, Shadow and Act, covered us amazingly and really beautifully. I love them. If it wasn't for them, who would cover black independent film? Internationally, they're amazing. So yeah, no, not aligned with all of them, the first starting 5. And then when we did so well the first weekend, we matured into 15 more cities. And we aligned ourselves with, we had already targeted black film organizations in the cities that helped us decide where we were going to go. So the idea is wherever we go, there needs to be a strong black film organization there. Right. So for a long time, we were getting beat up because we weren't in D.C.
So now you're in D.C.
Well, we're in D.C., but I had to find the right people. I'm not just going to go in if there's no kind of people on the ground.
Who did you partner with there?
Actually, there's not a black film organization, but there are 3 really strong individuals who curate black film, who are supportive, and then also the theater. We booked Washington, D.C. outside of our AMC deal. So we're at the West End Theater there, West End Cinema, which is, they have their own kind of apparatus for getting the word out. So yeah, I mean, but it's always about going someplace where there's that structural support. And so there are over 500, about 505 we've counted, black film organizations, festivals, screening series around the country. If half of them were great, that'd be pretty badass. So,
and then the second part
do
of
people say badass in New York? Or is that just
sometimes?
Because everyone's looking at me like, badass.
But the second half of Amonia's question was also a good one about how do you get in the lineup.
Right. So yeah, Affirm releases 2 per year, and the decisions are made by the festival leaders. And so in order to be an Affirm film, you have to have played at one of the Affirm festivals. Yeah, and so that was a really important thing for us because we feel like, there's some films that their trajectory, their strategy is not to play the Black Film Festival circuit. Because what are they going to do for me? I can't get acquired out there. Harvey Weinstein ain't going to Urban World. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to get big press. Like, I'd rather do Tribeca than Urban World. And that's fine. But what we're trying to say is you need to look at the Black Film Festival circuit. You need to look in your own backyard. And if you want to be a Affirm film, you're going to have to come and play these black film festivals.
And you don't necessarily need Harvey Weinstein.
And you don't need Harvey Weinstein, yeah. This is being taped. Why are you getting me in trouble with Harvey?
Ava, I just wanted to say, I did want to say thank you also for doing the film and to also let you know that we were honored as New York Women in Film and Television to present your film on opening Saturday at 10:45 in the morning.
Oh,
a bunch of people came, so thanks so much for that.
Thank you for doing that. Yeah, like this is one of the examples that Urban World and Image Nation had that I hadn't thought of, was to have each of the showtimes on opening weekend hosted by an amazing black film supporter and organization. So thank you for doing that. Appreciate it.
Okay, so filmmaker as well. Let's talk about money. You said it started out with $50,000, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Started and ended with.
Started and ended with. I'm assuming you did a low SAG indie contract. So how did the union players play into that as far as your crew? Non-union, union. How did you get around that is what I'm asking. And then second part, as a producer, since it cost $50,000, I'm assuming that you were definitely in the black. Now that you're playing at 22 theaters, and how did the distribution model work from there? How much are you taking? I'm not asking numbers, just how much are you taking home? Are you saying I'm getting the full 100%? No, it's 50 because I'm splitting with the distributors, and then I'm paying out the actors, and from there.
I just want to know all my business.
You can pick and choose.
No, I mean the cash was 50. It was my $50,000 life savings. And coupled with about $50,000 in in-kind services, resources, and that's the executive producer credit that I gave to Howard Barish, who's a gentleman who had a commercial production company. We were in the same building. And I was just like, what are those camera trucks? He's like, they're mine. I was like, what are you doing with them? He's like, making commercials for the CW. I was like, I need them. And we're going to make a movie. And so, yeah, those kinds of resources coupled with the cash. So the budget, if you quantified his resources and so forth and all the other stuff we begged and borrowed, probably came about 95. It was non-union. It was under 100,000, so kind of slid under. And yes, it was SAG ultra low. Not SAG low, SAG ultra low. There is a po-folk category. No, I'm not in the black, because I'm also the distributor. So all the marketing costs, all the P&A, all the posters, all the postcards, all the travel for talent, all of the prints. These were digital prints, not this, but digital prints that have to be compatible with the AMC system. It was a certain amount of P&A out of pocket for me, which we don't have an investor or a sponsor, so that came out of the life savings. And now there is no life savings. But this is my life, so it's good. But no, we're still looking to make the money back from the movie. So we've recouped the movie itself, the production costs.
The film's only been open since March 11th.
Yeah, it's 4 weeks. We recouped the production costs, but not the marketing distribution costs yet. But we're fast on our way. It should be.
How long do you think you'll stay in the theaters?
Oh no, we're winding up. Okay. Oh yeah. No, end of April, we'll be done.
And then
and then DVD and Netflix and broadcast deal, and it'll have a full life and go on and make another movie.
Okay.
Shoot in June, and start figuring out the next Affirm film, and who that'll be in fall. So. It's really interesting. Gosh, I wish I wasn't on camera because I would tell you guys something really interesting. But it's interesting what films that you think are okay are not okay and want to be distributed through Affirm. You know what I mean? What films you think, oh, that film, of course such and such is picking it up. But maybe they're trying to pick it up for nothing. Or maybe they're not treating the filmmaker right, or maybe it's not picked up like you think it is. Really, really shocked at some of the calls we're getting, and it's interesting because I think some of these calls are coming from a place of, we're not getting picked up. Can you help us out? Which is a different movement than what I believe in this. I'm trying to ride or die with you, and let's hit the road. Because if you're a Affirm film, you're gonna be up in churches in Montgomery, Alabama. You're going to be on the road in Seattle. You're going to be saying, where are the black folk? They just come out at night, black people. You're going to be on the road really doing the hard work. And so it has to be, the heart. It has to be from the heart. So it's been an interesting
We're going to
time.
take 2 more questions and then we're going to break because we're going to have a little repast. Yes. Here. Thank you. Sorry.
Hi, my question is about complexity in terms of story and then marketing. And I'm taking my first screenwriting class here, and there's a lot of talk about, characters in films aren't real people. They only have one problem. Your script has to be focused. And so when you have a film that shows the complexity of character and of relationships, and you juxtapose that with lots of films today where the marketing is all about kind of a punchline, how do you go about marketing complexity?
Nice question.
Yeah, that's a nice question. She stood up, had a nice strong voice, made good eye contact. Marketing complexity, no. I mean, the filmmaker in me says yes, create, full-body, multidimensional characters. It's a must. I mean, what are we doing if we don't do that? The marketer in me says, of course you don't market complexity. This is not Inception. You know what I mean? That was marketing complexity. That was, we're going to market how hard this is, and you all go see if you can figure it out. That's Matrix and that's Inception, right? And that's one campaign, but no, we don't market complexity. We marketed love, we marketed loyalty, we marketed, you must come see this movie if you care about black film. We marketed, everyone's lost something, does this resonate with you? When you're marketing, you strip down the thing to its core. I'm marketing Invictus for Mr. Eastwood. I strip it down to its core. What is this about? What is Dreamgirls about? What is Collateral about? What is Girlfriends? What is it about? You know what I mean? It's about friendship, and that's what we're pushing. That's on the poster. That's the talking point when they sit on Leno. It's always friendship. So marketing is a different discipline than filmmaking. And so, I say when you make your film, don't think about marketing. Leave that to the marketers, let them figure it out. Chris Nolan was not thinking about how it was being marketed when he had people flying. It's what? I sat in that movie what's happening right now? I don't understand. You know what I mean? And so he left it to the people who it's our job to figure it out. And, marketers love that crap. Love a hard movie to market.
If you're the writer, director, and producer, how do you find those different objectives?
Me?
Yeah.
I mean, but that's not everyone's issue. I mean, that's my, you're asking just for me personally?
No, because you had said that we all have to do that.
Yeah,
We all have to do that. Right?
We all have to do that, but I think that you have to, I didn't say everyone has to market their picture. I feel like everyone has to has to understand distribution of their picture, and that's a little bit of a. Distribution are pieces that everyone in this room can learn if they put their mind to it and figure it out. The information is out there, the ideas are there, and you can do it. Marketing is a discipline, you know what I mean? That takes a little bit of time. So I never would expect someone to be able to look at their film and know exactly how to market it, pitch it to press, put it to market. That's a little bit different. But to answer the question, I would say I still maintain, do not think about the marketing when you're making the movie.
But do you think about audience?
I don't think about the market when I'm making the movie.
Not at all.
No.
Now you just destroyed my whole
theory
when I teach my distribution classes.
Sorry, but
now all my students are going to just go by the wayside.
No. I mean, hey, it's up for debate. For me, I can't think about marketing. Sally Richardson, I love her like a sister now, but she probably is not the first choice if I was thinking about marketing the movie. You know what I mean? The first choice is someone who's opened a movie before. You know what I mean? If I'm thinking about marketing the movie, probably not going to have full scenes of people just walking and talking from room to room. Probably going to have a car crash or or do a little something. If you're thinking about marketing the movie, and that affects the art, that affects what you're creating. So I think that you need to think about how you're going to get it out later.
Yes.
And don't let that stuff get in the way of your process as a filmmaker or a writer. And yeah, you have to have your 3-act structure, and yes, you have to be hitting your beats, but this is a very Save the Cat beat sheet. Does anybody know Save the Cat? Is that what it's called? Yes. Save the Cat? Yeah. Very Save the Cat. Love that book. Rest in peace. He passed away. So it's very beat it out. It's very standard 3-act structure, but it's heck of quiet. The climax is someone comes to the door. You know what I mean? Like the 3-act turn is, he's not going to stay. You know what I mean? It's just, they're just so small, but they're still there. And
Absolutely.
So you can still write it, and you can still beat it out. It can still be proper structure, and those are emotional responses. Everyone's reacting to those things. They're just not as heightened as usual. Mm-hmm. And think about how it's going to be marketed after. It's hard to say that to a screenwriter because, right now they're telling us to write screenplays that you can sell. But it just depends on the kind of movie that you're trying to make.
Last
Sorry,
question.
I'm talking too long. Not enough questions.
Very last question, right here.
Hi, I know you said to think about the marketing after you finish the film.
Yeah.
So when you finish the film, and it is time to think about the marketing, are you thinking about, you said you strip it down to its core and you find out what it is that you want to tell people it's about. Do you use different things for different audiences? And the second question is a firm going to entertain any short films?
A firm is thinking about doing short films in front of the features to just give national distribution to a short. I do too. So that was something like, wow, we have them there. We could put that right on the front of the print and do that. So that's something we're thinking about. I'm not sure if it's going to happen on the second one, but it's certainly a big conversation to figure out if we can make that happen. And so the thing you said is the marketing, you strip it down to the thing you want people to know. Not what I said. Strip it down to the core theme. I want people to know a lot in this film, but I can't say all that in the poster. You know what I mean? I can't say all that when Sally goes on the Monique show. She's just got to say the key things that are going to get butts in seats. And then when you get there, maybe you find beauty and other revelations and complexity. So you just have to strip it down to core themes. And most people, core themes, love, loss, friendship, betrayal, you know what I mean? Jeopardy, conflict, those are marketing tenets. Just what is this about? Jealousy. Let's talk about Toi. Anyone seen Toi?
Oh, yeah.
No, everybody's like. Toi, one of the first films I worked on. Toi, classic, black cinema, black, low budget.
Real low budget.
Michelle said real low budget. Those brothers now, Rainforest, making movies, Takers, all types of stars. But Toi is Toi. And I handled that film. When it first came out in '99, we were both babies. They were babies and I was babies. And you just strip it down. I watched the film, I was like, I don't know what to say. Like, I enjoyed it, but it was a bit of a guilty pleasure. So that's what we marketed.
It's a guilty pleasure.
Guilty pleasure. Jealousy, love, and lust. Guilty. You know what I mean? And people came. You know what I mean? You have to strip it down to what is going to get them in seats. And so I hope everyone that's interested in doing it can. And just thank you for coming and sharing this with us. And thanks for the encouragement. Appreciate it.
And Ava is actually sticking around tomorrow to do the workshop on film festivals and theatrical release. So those of you who are interested can join her for that. And I really, really, really have to thank you. I had no idea about the London thing until tonight, and
No
I
problem.
can't tell you.
Happy to be here.
That's the sister for you.
Honored to be here. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Please join us for some light refreshments, and hopefully see you back tomorrow.